Welcome back to Explain America. This is your host, Kyle Becker. DOJ and FBI officials are threatening to quit over the indictment of former FBI Director James Comey. Now, a top DOJ attorney is now out in the aftermath of Comey's indictment, and we're going to get you the details here in a moment, but please like, share, and comment at Explain America. Join us. We appreciate your support for common sense journalism. Now, James Comey was indicted for lying to Congress in regards to the Russia collusion hoax, and the fallout of that, well, it's just beginning. And we can look forward to a lot of upheaval in the Justice Department and the FBI over Comey's indictment because, let's be honest here, it is smoking out the bad faith actors who cannot uphold, defend, and protect the Constitution in accordance with who the commander-in-chief is.
Feel like they have to leave because they see no way to preserve that dignity that you so eloquently described, Katie. And props to you for playing Frank Church on a Friday afternoon. That's great tape. All the public should see that stuff. As a person who covered the intelligence community for a long time. But the post-Watergate norm that we're really talking about here did not emanate from the Church Committee, but it was of that time and of that ethos. And it couldn't have been established in law, because the Justice Department is part of the executive branch. So you can't pass a law saying that the Justice Department is independent from the president on criminal law decisions. So they established that as a norm. And part of the way that norm was enforced is a sense of shame, a sense that if it was revealed that that norm was violated, it would be front page news in the New York Times, and it would lead cable news, and people would be embarrassed, and there would be a scandal, and Congress would investigate. And that's happened a few times over the years. That is all out the window now. There is no shame in the Trump administration, and in fact, they quite deliberately have shattered this norm. And Donald Trump has said many times that he is the chief law enforcement officer, and he believes that he can order the Justice Department to do whatever he wants. Interestingly, though, he's also along the way tried to suggest that he's removed from it and it's not up to him, because even he wants to preserve the notion that he is not pulling the strings here. Although when he put that post on Truth Social demanding that James Comey and others be prosecuted, that kind of lifted the veil a little bit. But they have shattered this norm, and many people who work in the Justice Department feel like they can no longer function there and are trying to leave. And same with the FBI. And they are worried about what comes next. They are worried about what they're leaving behind and who's doing those jobs now. But it's a very personal decision. They feel like there's no reason to stay, because if you stand up and try to fight against these things that are happening, you're going to have your head chopped off anyway. You'll be fired unceremoniously. And so, yes, almost everyone I talk to who has the ability to leave is trying to leave, Katie.
So we have Pam Bondi, who in the wake of Trump threatening her on Truth Social and then backing up, of course, and giving her a lot of praise. Well, she has moved in, and James Comey is in the focus of the Justice Department. And now we have a resignation, a top U.S. attorney, that would be a senior national security prosecutor within the Eastern District of Virginia. He is out. His name is Troy Edwards Jr. He quit. And guess what? He's related to James Comey. That's right. He's his father-in-law. And so no conflict of interest there. So he didn't mention that when he quit, well, this is his father-in-law. He just said, I'm sorry, I can't maintain my position because I need to uphold the Constitution. Well, nobody really gave a crap about that when James Comey was interfering in our elections and refusing to uphold the law against Hillary Clinton, or launching hoax investigations based on Clinton campaign research, which was, of course, we know the Russia collusion hoax. So this follows in the aftermath of another federal prosecutor that resigned. His name is Eric Siebert, and he came out and resigned after Trump had pressured him to do his actual job. And of course, we get information, a report that Siebert is also related in a loose way to Comey's daughter. That's Maureen Comey. So Siebert, his father-in-law, is the godfather to Comey's daughter. And that his daughter, of course, is Maureen Comey, who was fired from the DOJ and is suing the Trump Justice Department over the firing. She is the disgraced daughter of James Comey. She was involved with the failed Epstein case in the Southern District of New York. And of course, she just botched the failed P. Diddy case. And of course, it's just very suspicious how these high-profile trafficking cases, they seem to just fall apart, whenever Comey is involved. Isn't that really strange? I find that an odd coincidence. But here's the thing about all of this. It is a feature, not a bug, for all of these resistance never-Trumpers who have embedded themselves in the Trump administration to finally just be honest with us. You don't care about the law. You just care about who's being prosecuted. And in this case, it is somebody on your team that you don't like being prosecuted. You had nothing to say when the former president of the United States was subjected to illegal campaign surveillance. We have the Inspector General report. It says right there, at least 2 of the FISA renewals were illegal. You didn't say anything when Comey was lying his butt off in front of Congress because the Steele dossier, it was included as part of the intelligence assessment in the background of the Russia collusion investigation. So again, we are seeing lies after lies after lies from these people. Nothing surprises us anymore, but what would surprise us is if there's actually justice and these people are held accountable for their actions because, look, they're all whining about so-called lawfare here. Comey is facing a jury of his peers in a very deep blue Eastern District of Virginia. So why is his trial being held in the swamp? I don't get it. You'll never get justice there. You only need one blue-haired woke leftist who just watches Rachel Maddow and thinks that Trump is the second coming of Mussolini to throw a monkey wrench in the entire justice process. So we really need to do something about that as a country because these cases that are winding up in the heart of the federal government, trying federal officials, like this is not going to work out. And there needs to be more of a tribunal or something like this because you cannot have these cases be tanked by Biden-appointed judges like we have in this case of Comey, and you can't have these jury members drawn from just deep, deep, deep blue districts. They're never going to side with justice. They're going to side with their politically activist talking points. So Comey, well, at least his indictment was a shockwave in the system because we're seeing the fallout. We're seeing some of these never-Trumpers and leftists get smoked out. So the more of them that resign, the better for our country because we need the system to be fair and impartial. And if somebody breaks the law, such as lying to Congress, they need to be held accountable. Interfering in elections, manipulating evidence, leaking to the media, sabotaging administrations based on partisan opposition research, essentially doing campaign work for the Democratic Party. We cannot allow this in our government. It runs contrary to everything it stands for. And so weigh in with your thoughts. What do you think about this? Do you want to see more DOJ and FBI officials quit over Comey's indictment? I know I do. So thank you for watching and for weighing in at Explain America.